Good morning, everybody. Simon and Murthy here. I'm just going to do a live stream for several of my yoga trips where I've been overseas in India and Nepal, and it'll be over probably 3 videos today. So I'm just going to get started and start sharing some photos, and I'll just do a brief commentary on some of them as I move through them. And we're going to start with 1988. So where are we here? So this photo here is actually at the Bihar School of Yoga in the Ganga Darshan building. I was there. That's actually me at the back. I'm not sure if you can see there. Sitting down, you can just see my head behind that Swami there at the back. We're up on level 6 at Ganga Darshan building, and we just had an afternoon tea or a cup of tea with Swami Satchinanda, Paramahansaji, who was in seclusion or semi-seclusion, living up in that building in Ganga Darshan. This is 3 months before he left Bihar School of Yoga and his mission there. And that's me sitting at the back there, and everybody's up waiting to go inside, but I'm sitting down there, and I just got a really strong blast from my guru, Swami Satchinanda, and I was just more or less just blissed out. Couldn't move, actually. And there's some of the Swamis. There's an Australian Swami there who I met when I was there, Guru Jyoti. I used to do a bit of work, Karma Yoga there with him. And that's Swami Gyan Prakash down the front there. He used to be the president of Bihar School of Yoga at the time in '88. And that's interesting. I've only got a few photos from '88. So I'll just take that one off share. This is an interesting photo. This is in the building where we were staying down near the kitchen area in one of the buildings. And we used to you look up the hill towards the main building of Ganga Darshan, which is the big building, 7-story building. And that's me. Looked a bit unshaven, with plenty of whiskers. And yeah, I had a bit of hair in those days. But yeah, that's another photo that I've got. My friend Graham, who went with me, he's a young guy. He was only 21, actually. I was 31. He was 21. And he travelled there with me to meet Paramahansaji, Swami Satchinanda. But obviously he's taken the photo, so he's not in it. And that's me there, just outside the ashram. I was talking to a lady, Kama Sannyasin, I think, or probably Swami now, but she was from England, and I met her at the ashram then when I was there. And I saw her actually again in '95 and now '97, but I remember her. Okay, so that's all the photos I have for '95, 3 photos. So I'll just flick them in my folder, so I get them off my desktop. But I'll go through some of my '95 photos. Obviously, I'm not putting them all in there, '95 and '97, but I want to go through a few of them. Some of them I've shown before. let's see. That's up on one of the balconies of level 4 on Gangadarshan. We were doing at the end of the course, the inaugural certificate course. This was in December of 1995, nearly 30 years ago. That's me at the end, the black T-shirt, and my face all painted up. That was interesting. Swami Satyadharma painted us all up. Who's it? Swami Satyadharma standing next to me. She was actually the course director of that course, and she was a great Swami, and she's no longer with us. Rest in peace. And that's Paramatma and Gyan Prayag Swami, Gyan Prayag from Sydney. Para from the Paramatma from Central Coast. We had a great time there. I was just talking to one of my other friends who went with me from Australia, Peter Ackland, the other day, and he just said like that was the best time one of the best times in his life that I took him there with me. And yeah, I agree. That was a great time. And I'll take that off. And yeah, this is a great day, very happy day, and I was receiving my certificates at the end of the course, and you'll see that I had face paint. We had all of our faces painted up because we there was 4 or 5 of us. We did a presentation. It was like a cultural day for all the participants, especially international ones that are coming from overseas, where we could just sort of do something culturally from where we were from. So we were doing a bit of a dance, the didgeridoo with Yotu Yindi, an great Aboriginal band playing in the background their famous song called Treaty. That was great. Swamiji had a bit of a smile on his face. It was really good. Anyway, I'm just receiving my certificates here from Swamiji, who's my guru, my sannyas guru, and I was very humbled to be receiving it, I'm telling you. This is actually from a blown up photo from our class photo. So you can see a couple of the Swamis standing behind him. I'm actually in that photo, but it's zoomed down to Swami Naranjan. Beautiful photo and a great day. I'm sure Swamiji was proud too. He's the first batch to come out of BR Yoga Bharati, which is the first yoga university in the world, 1995. And there's just a photo of in my room up on level 4 where I stayed for 4 months, and Daksha it was. He lives in Perth, I think, at the moment, or he used to a few years back. Daksha, he was a young Jigyasu at the time, living at Gangadarshan for a year or so. And his mum's a Swami as well, Gangashwaranan. Anyway, I'll take that off. That was a nice photo. Thanks, Daksha. And I'm just removing some of the photos. And what do we got here? Okay. This is actually our class photo. After we graduated, that was our class photo. You can see swimming around down near the front, and there's some memorable faces in that crowd of people there. And that's me up the end there, near the tree, and some of my friends. I went with Peter up there, and Gyan Priyag, Mukti, she came from Australia, Mukti Murti, Paramatman standing next to me. There's all their teachers down the bottom row there. So yeah, some great teachers for that course. I'll tell you, that's fantastic. Some of the students down the front row, the girls down the front, and I remember some of those faces. That was really great. Awesome. Right. And there's a photo of Swamiji Paramahansaji Swami Satyananda that I took out at Rikya. That was amazing. That was totally amazing seeing my guru, who I hadn't seen for 7 years, at Rikya. That was beautiful, really beautiful. And that was actually a big thing out there was at Rikya was apart from the Satchandi Mahayagya, was Swami Niranjan, my guru, being announced as the spiritual successor for Paramahansaji at the Alakbara compound where he lived. And that was a joyful occasion for everybody that was there, fortunate enough to be there. And that was fantastic. And I'll remember that day for as long as I live, for sure. And right. Okay. Here's the photo. That's Peter, my friend, a really good friend since I was a teenager. Peter, Swami Gyan Priyag, myself, and Paramatma. I think this was in Dayoga, in one of them dharamshalas. We were just having something to eat. I've got a bit of a roti in my hand, I think. And I think that was my friend from Bangalore, Jagdish, who took the photo. Right. And another photo of Swamiji Paramahansaji that I took out at Rikya. Now, you weren't supposed to take photos, but I snuck a few in because I was out there for a couple of weeks, all around Swamiji. So that was a great photo, and I've got it here in my room, office, sadhana room, blown up. Beautiful photo. And here's a photo. Actually, we just got off the train. We were just about to get a bus, I think, out to the ashram near Mongia. So we just travelled from train from Calcutta across to through Bengal over to Bihar state, and we were on the way to the ashram. We're all very excited. And these are now. I'm going to show some photos from Bodh when my friend Jagdish and myself left the ashram for about 5 days, maybe 7 days, got some leave just before our final examination, and went out to Bodh and Varanasi. So here we are at Varanasi, this beautiful statue there, just in front of the lake near the Mahabodhi temple, right next to it at Bodh. This is really beautiful. Inside the main temple, inside the temple, the ancient temple, it's very significant. You know, this is an ancient temple, Bodh, where Buddha attained his enlightenment. Oh, this is a beautiful mural that I took the photo of inside one of the Buddhist monasteries at Bodh. So there's numerous Buddhist monasteries around Bodh from all the different nations, that Buddhist nations that have got their own ashrams there, or not ashrams, monasteries. Okay, so this one is beautiful. I love those wall murals. And yeah, this is another at Bodh in one of the ashrams. Oh, sorry, not ashrams, monasteries, Buddhist monasteries. Beautiful. Yeah, and this was beautiful too at Bodh. And this is when we were on the boat ride coming back from seeing Shai Bindu Lahiri. We went for a boat cruise down the Ganges past the Manikartika Ghat, which you can see there with the smoke. That's where the the corpses or the deceased people are being burnt on the funeral pyres, and that's a pretty amazing place. And this is just looking down the Ganges at Varanasi from Kedar Ghat. So we walked all the way down there, around there, down there, fair way to Chalsati Ghat. We walked further along to Satyalok, which is Shai Bindu's residence up there, where Lahiri Masai lived. So yeah, that was amazing. Varanasi, very ancient city. You look up how old that is. It's ancient. All of India is very ancient. Okay, so this photo is from my. So I'm only showing some of the photos. Otherwise, I'd be here forever. That's from '95, and I've got a whole album. You see there. That's '97, 1997, India and Nepal. So I'm only going to show one photo from '97, and this is '95. So I've got lots of photos. So, but I wanted to show this one here. This is from '97. Many of these I've shown over the years on Facebook. This is actually an Aussie group. This is a big group of us that went over in, I think it was November '97. These are all Aussies. And there's myself up this end, down the end here. And there was four of us were like the group tour leaders. So it was a tour from Australia. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And I was one of the tour group leaders. And that was a really amazing trip. So we did a month in India and then went to Nepal, and a month in Nepal, and that was beautiful too. And I'm going to bring up some of the photos from Nepal too, and then I'll do a separate video on 2012 and 18. Right, what's this one? Oh yeah, I wanted to show this one. Oh yeah, I wanted to show this one. This was an amazing day. So that's me up on the balcony with one of the swamis, one of my teachers, on the level 4 balcony, and looking out over the Ganges in the distance. There you can see Ganges at Mongia, and this is the beautiful fountain that they just built down here, musical fountain. And you see all the orange robes or Geru coloured ochre robes down the bottom there. So it was a nice sunny day, and everyone was doing their dyeing of their robes. And yeah, that was amazing. Just a reminder, it's a lot of swamis there. I've come through that ashram, BR School of Yoga, or it's an amazing place. I'll just take that off. Right, so that's, I just wanted to get some photos now of Nepal. Okay, so I'm going to just show the Nepal ones, and then I'll turn this stream off, and I'll have a separate one, in maybe half an hour after that, on 2012 and 18, 2012, 13. If I can find some photos in 18, which I know I've got photos and a couple of videos. This is nice, Nepal, right? So I'm showing these photos obviously for the benefit of people that haven't been over here, so they can just have a bit of a look at some of the things that I thought were worth taking a photo of. And this was a beautiful waterfall. Many mightn't get the chance to see this one. This actual waterfall was huge. That was the top that you can see there, but if you look further down, it goes way down. And this is at the Tibetan border of Nepal and Tibet, at Kadari. This is just down, probably a kilometre back from the little village right on the border of Tibet, a kilometre back. So I had to walk back there and snap the photo because it was so beautiful. Actually, if you're in a car or a taxi on the way up from Kathmandu, and it's a well worth going back to have a look at it. It's an amazing place. Actually, Gadari is an amazing place. I had a beautiful vision of Shiva up there. That was amazing. Anyway, I'll go through some of these other photos. And where are we? Oh, this is a sadhu at, actually, they called him Mona Baba. So that was interesting because my name was Mona Murthy, and the sadhu at Pashupatinath temple. Actually, this is a pretty interesting. This is at Pashupatinath temple again at Kathmandu, and there's a lot of the locals there looking over at me, talking to these gurus, and these are all gurus here, and this is an Agori, actually, a young Agori, sitting there, and he had ash all over him, and he just had like a loincloth and ash, and the guru that I was talking to there, um, he spoke very good English as well, so I could communicate with him. So I just presented actually the three or four of them with a new mala. So I purchased some small beaded Rudraksha malas, and I garlanded all of them and gave them all a mala, and they were very happy. And the guru of the whole lot of them, the Agori, he blessed me, and that was really nice time, and I've got some good photos there. So I'm just jumping over the. No, this is a snake charmer at near Pokhara. So you can see there, one, two, three, four. Well, I think he had about 5 cobras right next to us. About a metre away, taking these photos, and that was pretty amazing. I I didn't know there were cobras in there, but he started playing the music and lifted the lids, and up come the cobras. That was amazing. And here we are. This is another one. Here's another photo of the same snake charmer, Sadhu and snake charmer, right? So you can see this, the cobras, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And on his hand, on his palm of his hand, he's got a scorpion. So he had 2 scorpions on his hand as well. Near Pokhara was. And this is probably the most beautiful view you'd ever see from. This is I'm taking the photo from Sarankot, and or was it? Oh, or it actually might have been just across from the lake at Pokhara. So down the bottom, which you can't see below the bottom of the photo, that's Pokhara Township and a lake at Pokhara, and it's a beautiful panoramic view of the Himalayas right there. It's right in your face, and they're so tall. Those mountains, Annapurna and Machu Picchu, and it's just amazing. Totally amazing. I'd love to go back there, spend some time there. Uh, so yeah, that's at Sarankot. I'm standing on top of a mountain there. Well, it's not a mountain if you compare it to these ones up here, but it's still a mountain, and with a beautiful view near Pokhara. 1st of January it was, New Year's Day, 1998. So there's a portrait actually of Yogi Nara Harinath, who I met and became my guru as well at his ashram, um, Goraksha, Mrigastali Goraksha Pith at Kathmandu. He was the guru there. He's passed away. And that was an amazing time. And that's a beautiful portrait photo that I took. This is actually in Vasishta's cave at Devgat. That's a statue of Vasishta in the cave right at Devgat, which is a beautiful place, the most beautiful place. And I only actually there's probably no way I would have found that place, but Yogi Naraharanath invited me out there to his jungle ashram at Devgat, and I did a bit of wandering while I waited for Yogi Naranath for a few days, 3 or 4 days, and I found this little ashram on the banks of the river. And at the back of this ashram, someone from the ashram directed me to these caves, and there was Vasishta's cave and Sita, Rama's wife Sita, and there's a cave there with a statue of Sita as well. And this is their place. Beautiful, most amazing view from that place. And right, this is a painting of Gorakhnath, which is inside, or it was inside Yogi Naraharanath's ashram at Kathmandu. I believe now it's also in, or this original painting is in the museum in Kathmandu. Beautiful. So this is inside the grounds of the ancient, really ancient Gorakshapith Mrigastali, where Goraknath meditated. His fire actually is still there. His dhuni still there inside this ashram, Goraknath ashram, Pith, Gorakshapith. And you see all the cows, or the holy cows in there that they were all always looked after. There's the beautiful waters flowing down at the border of Kodari in Nepal, at the northern part of Nepal where it borders Tibet, up in the mountains. This is right on the border of Tibet. The bridge, which is the border, is like about 20 meters away from this stream. That was beautiful, and the color of the water was just amazing and freezing cold. This is walking around Pokhara, up on top of one of the mountains. I snapped that view over the valley, over to another peak, and there's range after range of mountains, and that was beautiful. That was me at Devgat walkabout. So this is when I went out to Yogi Naraharanath's jungle ashram, which was really amazing. Where I think I'd just been into the Vasishta's cave and Siddha's cave there on the way back to Narayangat. All right. Now this is at the bottom of that big waterfall at Kodari, just from the road looking down. So it's really steep, it's like a 500 feet or 1,000 feet drop down there where I'm standing. And that's at the base of the waterfall. Really beautiful waterfall. It's a little pool there at Kodari. I actually went swimming up there, went in for a dip, and that was cold. It's like ice cold, really cold. I mean, I was a pretty seasoned surfer, used to cold water, but this is straight out from Tibet, and it's freezing. You don't go in there for more than 30 seconds or something like that. It's pretty cold. And the water was beautiful, but that was a beautiful little pool there. Okay, these are the yogis that I was with when I gave them those garlands that I mentioned before. They're all the gurus. And in the middle there was the Agori. They're sitting at the fire there, their fire. And that the guru of the three was the young Agori who blessed me, and um, it was very good. It was amazing. And yeah, I met some amazing people on my trips. That was three of them. Anyway, take that one off. this was one of the gurus who I just mentioned in that previous photo, that he spoke very good English. This is actually from a postcard that was for sale in Kathmandu that I found that had him on the postcard. So I just took that photo from the postcard. He's a famous yogi up in Nepal. So this was around Shivaratri or just before Shivaratri, and there was a lot of sadhus and gurus in town because Shivaratri was coming up. This is a beautiful river at Devgat. Most beautiful place, that river in central Nepal. Central sort of, yes, pretty central southern Nepal. Absolutely beautiful. This is where the cave was, just around the corner there. I actually went swimming in there. Very strong current, and you've got to be careful. Don't go too far, you get swept away. Don't go too far from the shore, and it was freezing cold. Just around the corner is the Vasishta Cave and Cedars Cave. Well, yeah, this is one of my favourite photos too. It's beautiful. That's from that peak that you see there is Sarankot. I walked up there on the New Year's Day. A beautiful view there. Like you could just feel like you could reach out and touch those mountains. And they're 7,000 or 8,000 meter peaks. Massive, 6,000 to 8,000 meters. Massive and beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'll remember that forever. There's at Pokhara. That was you see the reflection on the water. The water was so glassy. It was such a beautiful morning, and you can see the reflection of the snow-capped mountains in the water. So I snapped that. This is at the lake at Pokhara. Beautiful. This yogi was introduced to me. I forget his actual real sannyas name. Is a Nath Yogi, but Yogi Naraharinath introduced this yogi to me as Jata Baba. Jata meaning really long hair, and his hair was so long. But his eyes are just so piercing, and I believe he's out near Pokhara at the moment. I'm going to Kathmandu next year. Hopefully, I'd love to see him. That'd be fantastic. But I'll be definitely going to the Mrigastali Goraksha Peeth in Kathmandu and maybe out to Pokhara as well. We'll see. That was fantastic. What have we got here? Seeing that. And that. Okay, that's all I wanted to share with the Kathmandu photos. Like I said, I've got a whole other album on that trip, so there's lots more. But that's all I wanted to share. So I'm just going to clean up my computer. I'll be back in half an hour. I'm going to start doing the Himalayan trip from 2012. There's lots of photos there. and I'll give a commentary. Hurry on.